As many of you may know, Pyros is a hero in Watcher of Realms I've been kind of interested in getting for quite some time. By far, Pyros is my most wanted hero in the whole game, starting with purple. All right, is this my Pyros? That is my, should put it on a t-shirt. That's my catchphrase. There we go, already an epic, is this my Pyros? Is it purple? At least it is. Is this my Pyros? Is this my Pyros? Ooh, it's freezing. I think when it freezes, they're freezing because they're uploading my Pyros. They're getting all excited. Not my Pyros, that is gonna be Azoth. It's purple, I saw it. Ah, come on, is this my Pyros? Oh, Selkath, get out of here. Okay, well, back to back. What are the gen? Pyros. There's another purple, wow. Is this Pyros? Come on, baby. Is this my Pyros is basically my catchphrase now. Is this my Pyros? Come on, Pyros. Well, hot dog, he's coming home, baby. He's coming home.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
How the heck are everybody? I'm Fastidious. Welcome back to my channel. I'm a very happy boy, and I think a lot of you knew I was going to be. I woke up with many a message saying your boy is coming home, and indeed he is. All of our boy is coming home. We all love this guy, right? Anyone that doesn't have an Infernal Lord is dying for an Infernal Lord, and we are going to get one. Truly, what a day. Mark in your calendars, November the 13th. That's Pyros Day. Pyros is gonna come home for so many of us, and the rest of you will get dupes, I bet, and get awakenings for him. And wow. So first off, shout out to Moonton. It's only been exactly 4 weeks since the 2 weeks, 14 days is what I want to say. 2 weeks since the Aeon Fusion, the Aeon Fragment event ended, and look at that, event pre-registration. Don't mind if I dandy. Let's add that to the calendar. Lovely, a little bit of goodies, and Pyros is arriving in game. So it's actually, I was so overloaded this week, guys, with so much work to do because I had my day 100 stream yesterday. We just wrapped up, or at least a formal end to my daily series with the Grind for Glory. I was putting out tons of content, doing tons of things behind the scenes for that. Look forward to a huge video for that this evening. That I actually had to put a couple things on the back burner. This is going somewhere, I promise. One of those was a Pyros guide I've been working on for a few days now. And wow, what a nice way to be rewarded for my ineptitude at getting my content out on time, because it's a lot better that I'm gonna get it out probably tomorrow. It's so much better. Pyros is an absolute pleasure, and he's a very complicated, clunky, difficult hero to use, so it's essential we all know how to use him correctly. Let's get right into it. For anyone that does not know, if you're new to the game, or maybe you joined during Lunaria or Aeon and you didn't want to go for it, fusions are amazing. This is our 4th fusion in the game, or they call it a shard summoning, a fragment collection event, a shard collection event. It's a fusion, all right? You're gonna collect little pieces through events, through Oracle's Trials tournaments, and you will fuse. This is our 4th time we've gotten an Epic Lord. It is exceptionally difficult to pull an Epic Lord in this game. I've pulled a lot of times, right? I've only ever pulled 2 Ein. He's totally free. I pulled 2 of him, and I pulled 1 Lunaria, and that's it. That's all I've ever pulled in this game, right? And they're both free too, right? Ein you get on day 7, Lunaria you get, if you were playing, you got her from a shard summoning event just like this. Pyros is super hard. Anecdotally, he seems to be the rarest Epic Lord in the game, and now everyone's gonna have an opportunity to get him. So stay tuned. There's gonna be a ton of content I'll put out in terms of guides on how to approach these shard summonings in the best way possible. And also, shout out to Maku, my collaborator. We have a very extensive, very easy to use shard collection tracker that is customizable and for each and every one of you. You can go back and look at the one we put out for Lunaria and the one we put out for Aeon. The one we put out for Pyros will be even better, and that is coming very, very, very soon. So let's talk about the hero. Why am I so excited? Why? You saw the clips at the beginning. Why am I always asking, is this my Pyros? Well, the Infernal faction is the strongest faction in Guild Boss. I think Guild Boss is the ultimate PvE content, at least right now. Guild Boss and Void Rift, and I did beat Nightmare Void Rift last night. You'll have to check out the stream highlights when those go up and what a stream it was. But Guild Boss is essential, and the Infernals have some of the best heroes in the game and the best heroes for Guild Boss, right? You've got Zealatu, you've got Setram, you've got Hex. The list goes on and on. Amazing heroes. And they are empowered in an exceptional way, specifically for single target damage by their lords, Pyros and Twin Fiend. Something that's pretty special about Pyros is in a certain way, he is better than his legendary counterpart, at least early on, until you've gotten your Twin Fiend A1. Or Awaken level 1. We'll get into that in 1 second. But you can see, with any hero in the game, let's go to the gallery really quickly. I think this sums up his kit so well. Let's go to someone like here. This is Volca, right? We all get her eventually for free from the Volca quest. AoE attack, lifesteal. Those are nice descriptors. Like, if you've played gacha games before or kind of hero builders before, that makes sense. Anti-air damage. All right, damage against aerial units. And burning. Okay, dot damage. Damage over time, right? Then we go to our friend Pyros, and his descriptor is focus fire. Now, what the heck is focus fire? That is Pyros. This ability, hidden away in his kit, this is what makes his entire thing hum. And this is what makes him so special. So normally I like to go basic, passive, maybe here I'd start with the Lord skill. We're gonna just go to the ultimate. And why? If you go to the ultimate, you will just, his Lord skill, you will see Pyros cast Destruction Command. Even in his Lord skill, they say, hey, it's about his ultimate. So let's just go straight to Pyros' ultimate, then we'll do the other skills, then we'll do the talent, and look forward to either tomorrow or Wednesday, so in 1 or 2 days from now, you will get a very detailed, very comprehensive guide on Pyros, and specifically how to make this guy hum in the guild boss. So Destruction Command, it is a wall of text. When activated, increases damage by 60% for 15 seconds. This is the damage he puts out. And marks one target in range, so single target, with the highest HP at the moment to make it a prioritized attack. So he's going to prioritize probably the biggest elite or the boss. In Guild Boss, there's only one target, but he also can be used, let's say you wanted to nuke down the Element boss or the Spirit Queen, the Druid boss from Gear Aid 1. Can work really well for that. I wouldn't suggest it. It's not super meta, but you could do it, right? He's always going to go for the highest HP, so the boss or the meatiest hero out there, while dealing 30% damage per second. Once you're at that prioritized high HP target, very likely the boss, very, very likely the guild boss, because that's how you're going to use him. The mark lasts for 7 seconds and explodes at the end of its duration, dealing 200% AoE damage to nearby enemies. That's his damage. Now, this last sentence is the whole thing. When the hero is deployed as a Lord, and if you're using him, he will be a Lord. Once you have Twin Fiend or Twin Fiend A1, you're probably never going to run them together. It doesn't really make sense. So if you're using him, he will always be a Lord. Gains Focus Fire effect. And there it is. Focus Fire, Focus Fire, Focus Fire. The first thing we do have to talk about before we get into that is it says 7 seconds. The damage we really don't care about. However, if you look here, you can get this all the way up to an additional plus 1 second mark duration, plus 2 seconds, so 10 seconds, and that's gonna be really important to know that this lasts for 10 seconds when we talk about his passive, and we talk about getting him Awakened level 3, and it is essential you get him Awakened level 3. So Pyros, my friend, Focus Fire, what the heck is this? It's confusing. All faction allies except for healers, so your Doloreses, your Autumns, if you just got a Aelin, they're not going to help, right? They're going to join forces to channel energy to the Lord for a powerful strike. So they're lending their energy, lending their abilities, lending their attributes to the Lord for a very powerful strike, regardless of their location, so anywhere on the map. The damage of their strike increases based on the number of participating heroes up to 700%. So what does that look like, right? You're probably going to have 3 participating heroes if you use an Infernal team correctly. You're going to have Pyros as the leader, and then he's going to have allies help him. So you could have 4 other members of the team. A team can be five wide, right? One of them is going to be Dolores, almost certainly, maybe a healer. But you're going to want minimum 3 DPS. If for some reason you don't, or I guess if you don't have Dolores, I'm sorry, but if for some reason you choose not to run Dolores, then you could have 4 DPS, but you're going to probably have 3 DPS that are channeling into Pyros. So he will slot right into my team, and I'll have Setram, Seal2, and Hex, right? They will be the DPS channeling into Pyros. Or maybe we'll see how much damage we're putting out. Maybe we don't need Setram, we use Nocturne. Probably I will stick with Setram until I get some Awakenings in Nocturne. That's a story for another day, but you know what I'm saying. 3 Infernal DPS, Pyros, Dolores, you're good to go. So how does this work? Think of it almost as like a power channeling version of an ally attack. If you've played a game like Raid Shadow Legends, it's like you attack with 3 other allies. It's kind of like that, but they're kind of lending their sauce to him, their abilities, their power, their stats. It's all coming together for a really huge blast of a strike and is tremendous damage. This is why someone like Seal2, and it does count as their damage, like the same it would in Raid Shadow Legends with an ally attack, right? So that's why someone like Seal2 can put out 185 million damage against Nightmare 4 Clan Boss on the best teams, right? That is how that happens. We'll go to Guild Boss and check the leaderboard after, actually, and you will see all these guys a lot of them probably have A1 Twin Fiend at the very, very top of the world leaderboard, and I'll get into why it's either Pyros or A1 Twin Fiend in a second. But essentially, you time it all right, and I will explain all of that in the guide. Don't you worry. This Focus Fire effect is going to just channel your strongest DPS, and these are many of the strongest DPS in Guild Boss, period. I mean, we're talking Zeal 2 and Hex, right? It doesn't get so much stronger than that. They're all coming together to completely empower this ability, empower themselves, and put out monstrous, monstrous numbers. All right, now let's break down the rest of the kit very quickly. We'll just start with let's start with the talent, actually. Pyros increases his attack speed by 50 per attack for 5 seconds, stacking up to 6 times, right? So it can stack up to 6 times in 5 seconds. Let me show you his attack interval right here. It's 2.6. You want this guy going rapid. You want to get him in a touch of rage regen. Then you can focus his attack stats. He can put out some damage of his own. You'll see him on a normal build for a normal, maybe like in the 7 to 12 million range. I'm sure in crazier builds you can see crazier numbers. I'm talking like Nightmare 3, Nightmare 4 right now. However, he's really there to get this ult proccing, and you can pretty easily, pretty comfortably get it. You'll have to finesse it for your own team based on your Pantheon and what kind of gear you have. Quite easily, you can get him proccing 2 ults per shield on the guild boss, which means you're going to have very high uptime on the focus barrier, and most important, the passive. Not most important, but equally as important, probably the passive, which we'll talk about in 1 second. So giving him this extra attack speed from his talent is going to help him get more rage regen attack. Thank you very much for the follow. Sorry about that, guys. And it's going to help him get that ult up faster and just make the whole thing smoother. Now, if we go to the Lord skill, when he casts Destruction Command, so again, it's all about the ultimate. So when this ultimate is up, all his factionalities are getting penetration increase, and it's very nice, ignoring 30% of defense and magic resistance. So that's another reason that the Zealotus of the world, the Hexes of the world, whatever, if you're using Azoth, it's, you know, your Infernal factionality, his Infernal factionalities that you're using, they're going to ignore 30% defense and magic resistance, right? That is so potent. You know, it's magic resistance also is different than vulnerabilities, which is essential when we talk about something right now. So why is it important that they make a decision? You can almost think of it stacking the same way. If you had a Mari or an Aeon and Greed in Gear Raid 1, for example, and Greed's putting out magic res reduction, and then Mari or Aeon is putting out magic vulnerability as well as physical vulnerability as well. Well, they stack. It's not like one overpowers the other or something. So it's just even more reduction in the defenses of the guild boss or whomever you are targeting. Super powerful. So what about those vulnerabilities? I guess let's get the basic attack out of the way. Single target, magic damage. As you saw, we do have some nice AoE, 100% AoE on the ultimate, so he's got a bit of single target, big of AoE. He's really just empowering and focusing on that one target and helping the rest of your heroes. However, if we go here, passive, Delusional Gaze, it's going to inflict vulnerability, both physical damage and magic damage on targets marked with Destruction Command. Again, it's all about the ult. So that's why I was saying it's super important that you skill this thing up. You get it to 10 seconds, right? You get the additional +1 second, +2 seconds, because then it's going to last for 10 seconds. And then while this is up, it's inflicting these vulnerabilities, which is not just going to help your, your Infernal factionalities that he has. It's going to help everyone, right? So if my Arrogance, he does physical damage, right? So now he's going to have this physical damage thing. So it's only +10%, but wait, you can absolutely skill this thing up, and you absolutely should, at least to level 4, and now it's 20%, so the same kind of vulnerability that a Mari or an Aeon puts out. He will not have the crazy non-stop uptime, like 100% uptime that Aeon always has, and Mari has with the right build. However, he will have very good uptime, and he's bringing so much else to the kit in terms of empowering his allies, your heroes, and he's going to do a little bit more damage of himself, way more damage than your Mari or Aeon's going to do. So you guys will see, once you start using him right, he is nutty. So we're getting this 20% vulnerabilities for 10 seconds, but wait, I mentioned Awaken 3. I do think, and you guys that have been using Pyros for a while, you can let me know, his his Awaken 1 is whatever. This increases his own crit. That's fine. Don't let this be confused with like Twin Fiend, who his Lord skill during his version of Destruction Command, his meteor shower, I believe it's called, or whatever his ultimate is. It's going to increase crit and crit damage by 20% of his faction allies. That's on top of the penetration, like what Pyros does. Don't get that confused. This is just his crit. Then we have crit damage for him, so he does a little bit more damage. It doesn't really matter, but Awaken 3, guys. So your Delusional Gaze, the vulnerability, if the target's still alive, the guild boss will not die, so he will always still be alive. It's going to last for 5 more seconds. So now you've got a 15-second uptime as opposed to 10, 50% more uptime, and now you're getting really close to keeping it going all the time, because you will see this, you will pop this ultimate over and over, exceptionally high uptime. He is so good. He is so worth it. If we go to the A4, we'll just finish one here. Penetration, more damage for him, and then finally recovers 200 rage when the target dies. This is really good when you use him in other content. He's not used so much right now. Who knows what's coming with like Codex or new forms of Void Rift. Not so necessary, really not for other content. So this isn't so relevant, right? Because the guild boss isn't going to die. But this A3, essential, that 15-second uptime once you get him skilled, once you get him A3. So if you got some soul stones, or if you think you will be in a position to get an extra copy and get that extra awakening, I'm definitely going for that. So I already have him Awaken 1, and I already have 1 soul stone, so hopefully in the next 2 weeks I probably should get 1 more from Guild Boss, and then bing bang boom, we got an A3 Pyros, and we are happy. You can tell, guys, I'm freaking excited. So let me just show you Twin Fiend really quickly. So Meteoric Strike, not Meteor Strike, Meteoric Strike, and then the thing I was saying, don't be confused with his skill. Here you see the same way Pyros gave that minus 30% defense and magic res, he also gives a plus 20% crit and plus 20% crit damage. Twin Fiend's a monster. However, I said, and this is how we're gonna wrap it up, I said for many, many, many things, Pyros might be better than Twin Fiend until you've gotten Twin Fiend A1. Well, why is that? Twin Fiend does not have any vulnerabilities, right? So you aren't getting, like, if you subbed in Pyros for your Mari or something, right? Or I know people love Mari. For me, I like Aeon. You sub him in for Aeon, that 100% uptime on vulnerability, you go to Pyros, it's a pretty high uptime on vulnerability. It's a wash. It's close enough to wash that all the other amazing things Pyros is doing totally makes up for it, and it's fine. With Twin Fiend, is he a better hero? In almost every other way, yes. However, no vulnerabilities. The only way you're going to get vulnerabilities on him is his Awaken 1. So all you got to do is just get an Awaken 1 Legendary Lord. Super easy. No, this is why we always say, if you get a Legendary Soul Stone, we all should hopefully get one eventually. I don't know if mine will ever come. Who knows? And if the Twin Fiend will ever come. But you should eventually. I'd say in a year, you should get 1 or 2, I hope. At least 1, I think, Legendary Soul Stone from the Guild Boss, and then you can get your Twin Fiend Awaken 1, and then he gets vulnerability, and it's even better. It's plus 25% physical damage taken and plus 25% magic damage taken. But Pyros really is about as good as it gets. You can go back, way back, me and Ivy did an Epic Lords ranking, not even a tier, it's just a straight up rating and ranking, and Pyros was number 2, and we really considered him heavily for number 1. He's so good. You guys should be, if you don't have him, you should be very excited. And if you don't have him A3 yet, you should be very excited. And even still, if you don't have him A5, why not? This guy's so freaking good. I would say if you have him A2 or you have him A3 already, just go for the 1 copy and save yourself the headache. But if you have A1 or less, you should be going for 2 copies if you can, and absolutely getting that 1 copy. Guys, I'm pretty over the moon. I'm very, very happy. I've lost a catchphrase today, unfortunately. As you guys can see, for weeks now, every time it turned purple, I said, is this my Pyros? And now I'm not gonna be as thirsty and as desperate. I will also say, this is coming 2 days after I just got my 20K max chest on Nightmare 3 and my 20K essentially max chest on Nightmare 4, because I'm not gonna be hitting 50K for an exceptionally long time. However, Pyros is gonna help us get there. I'm not as thirsty for an Infernal Lord as I was. So it's a little too bad, but I'm still over the moon, and I think you guys should be too. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like the video if this was helpful. I know I've kind of waxed poetic on him for a while, but I really, really like this guy. And I guess my final concluding thought is going to be, I'm so excited. I'm so excited that he's coming. He's coming home, baby. My name is Fastidious. If you like the video, do all that stuff. Subscribe, share it with your mother. I'll see you in the next one.
Fastidious.